Okay, another important strategy ahead, which is the attack-centric strategy. This strategy focuses on the attackers themselves. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you always want to know how the attackers think and what process does the attacker go through when planning out the attack on a certain company or a website. Which specific steps does he or she take? And by analyzing multiple attack scenarios and history of the attacks that happened, you can then act accordingly. So a hacker usually goes through several stages when targeting something. Now, it's not always the case that the events will play out in this order, but it is the most common to go through these steps in order. These steps are footprinting or information gathering stage, where the attacker gets as much information as he can about his target. This can be anything that he might find useful later in the gaining access phase. And after that comes scanning, which essentially is discovering different technologies on the target system, from open ports to operating systems running to different services and softwares that are running on that machine, and also including the security measures such as firewalls and antivirus softwares. The exploitation phase or gaining access phase is the attacker finally getting access to the target machine by either exploiting an existing vulnerability, whether it being a software vulnerability or someone's weak credentials, but in many cases it is also a phishing or social engineering attack. And after that, the attacker proceeds with his post-exploitation scripts and maintaining access on the target system. Now, the attack-centric strategy essentially takes these steps and creates countermeasures for them. Each of these steps has a countermeasure that also consists of three things, which are protection, detection, and response. For example, let's take scanning into consideration. Maybe you don't want your device being scanned and anyone being able to extract any type of information with their scans. You could set up a firewall to act as a protection mechanism. This way, your ports would show as filtered to the attacker when running the scans, and this is of course considering your firewall is well configured. You could also have someone or some tool log and detect malicious type of scans on your machine, and to respond to that, you could block the IP address that the scans are coming from. These are the three things that this strategy focuses on. Of course, this one is once again quite costly to implement and to operate, since it does usually require expertise from multiple vendors in order to run the tools that are used to protect, detect, and respond to various types of threats.